Imagine this. Your life is a grand masterpiece, and every single day you are handed a fresh brush and a new canvas. The question is, what will you paint? What kind of story will you tell with your actions, your mindset, and your habits? The truth is, success is not built in a day, but it is built daily. Now, listen to me closely. There are 10 small habits that, if practiced consistently, will change your life forever. They will shape your character, fuel your ambitions, and transform your future. But let's face it, how often do you find yourself trapped in the mundane, the routine, burning through your days with nothing to show for it? How many of your dreams have been torn apart by your so-called busy life that leaves no room for growth? Are you really living, or are you just existing? Today I challenge you to confront these uncomfortable truths. I'm not here to comfort you with gentle nothings. I'm here to rip the band-aid off and expose the raw skin of reality. You need to hear this, and you need to act. By the end of this video, you'll not only see the daily habits that can revolutionize your life, but also understand why you've been missing out on your potential. Are you ready to tear down the illusions and truly transform? Let's dive deep and uncover the small, powerful changes that can unleash the giant within you. Habit 1. Define your daily mission. Have you ever woken up feeling like you're floating through your days without purpose? Like every morning you get pulled into 1,000 different directions, answering emails, texts, running errands. But at the end of it all, you're left with nothing truly meaningful accomplished. Yeah, we've all been there, trust me. The problem isn't that you're lazy or unmotivated. The real issue is deeper. It's the absence of clarity. Carl Jung once put it powerfully, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Think about that for a second. If you don't consciously define what you want each day, life ends up deciding for you. You become like a leaf in the wind, busy yet directionless, drifting wherever external forces push you. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Busyness isn't progress. Filling your calendar doesn't mean you're moving forward, it just means you're moving. Without a clear mission, your energy leaks into trivial things that don't bring satisfaction or real growth. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, understood this perfectly. Marcus famously wrote in his personal journal, "Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary?" Notice how he forces his mind back into clarity, back into purpose. He knew that clarity of intention is your most powerful weapon against life's chaos. So, how can you make this practical? Let's get real for a second. This isn't about writing down 20 big tasks or setting grand, intimidating goals every morning. Start small and stay sharp. When you wake up tomorrow, before checking your phone or jumping into the daily noise, take a few quiet moments, just you and your thoughts. Ask yourself, what's the one important thing I must accomplish today? Just one task, clear, defined, meaningful. Maybe it's finishing that project that's been haunting you. Maybe it's finally making a tough call you've been avoiding, or simply dedicating time to learning a skill you've promised yourself you'd master. It doesn't need to be grand, it needs to be intentional. Why just one? Because focus is power. When you set one specific intention, your brain switches into targeted mode. Psychological research backs this up. Goal clarity boosts motivation, enhances performance, and actually increases satisfaction when you finish. Suddenly, your actions feel meaningful rather than random. Your effort is focused, your time protected. Let's also acknowledge something important here. Life is unpredictable. Days rarely unfold perfectly. Things will come up, problems emerge, distractions tempt you. This is exactly why your daily mission needs to be crystal clear. It becomes your anchor in stormy waters. your point of reference when chaos tries to pull you under. You can't control every event around you, but you absolutely can control how you respond. As the Stoics wisely taught, happiness and fulfillment lie precisely in what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, your choices. This daily habit, simple as it sounds, is powerful precisely because it stacks over time. Picture this. Every day you set a clear intention, every day you act intentionally, and every day you achieve one meaningful thing. Over weeks and months, these small daily victories compound. You start noticing growth, momentum, and genuine self-confidence. You start feeling empowered, not by chance or circumstance, but by your own deliberate actions. You become a person who shapes their own fate, who builds their life intentionally rather than passively. Habit 2. Practice gratitude. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to get sucked into negativity? You wake up, grab your phone, and boom, before your eyes even fully adjust, you're bombarded with problems. Emails demanding your attention, headlines screaming doom, messages reminding you of obligations you'd rather avoid. And just like that, your mind's hijacked. You're instantly stuck on what's wrong or what's missing. Let's face it, that negativity can cling to you all day, staining every interaction, every thought, every moment. It's exhausting, right? But here's the crazy part. Most of this stress isn't about what's actually happening. It's about your perspective. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus nailed it when he said, "People are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." Just let that sink in for a second. Your experience isn't purely about the external world, it's largely shaped by how you interpret it. Psychology backs this up too. Carl Jung famously pointed out, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." Your mindset determines your reality more powerfully than the situations themselves. So, what's the secret to shifting that mindset from negative to empowered? It's simple but profound: gratitude. Now, I know, gratitude can sound soft, overly simplistic, or even cliché. But hear me out. Gratitude isn't just a fluffy emotion you feel once a year at Thanksgiving. It's a discipline, a powerful psychological practice that actually rewires your brain. Studies show gratitude activates areas associated with positive emotions, reduces stress, and even improves physical health. It's like a mental workout for resilience. It's your brain's superpower against stress and anxiety. Practicing gratitude isn't about ignoring your problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about consciously choosing where to place your attention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." Notice how Marcus wasn't dismissing life's difficulties. He was choosing to focus on life's privileges. Gratitude anchors you in reality. It reminds you what's good right now, in the present, rather than letting you get lost in anxiety over what might go wrong tomorrow. So let's make this actionable. Tomorrow morning, or better yet, tonight before you sleep, grab a notebook or even your phone and write down 3 things you're genuinely grateful for. They don't have to be big, life-altering things. It could be the warmth of your coffee, a quick chat with a friend who made you laugh, or even just the comfort of your bed. By noticing and appreciating these small moments, you teach your brain to see abundance rather than scarcity. This small act is more powerful than it appears. Over time, it changes your default mental state. Instead of automatically zeroing in on the negative, your brain learns to scan your day for positive moments. Gratitude rewrites your internal narrative from one of stress and fear to one of appreciation and possibility. When you're grateful, you become proactive instead of reactive. You stop living in defense mode and start engaging with life fully. Imagine what happens when gratitude becomes your daily habit. those tiny sparks of positivity accumulate into a steady flame of confidence, resilience, and inner peace. You're no longer easily shaken by setbacks because your mind is already anchored in a place of abundance and strength. The external world hasn't changed, but you have, and that changes everything. Remember, gratitude isn't just a feel-good activity, it's a transformational tool. The Stoics knew it, psychologists know it, and now you know it too. Choose consciously every day to focus on what you have rather than what you lack. See gratitude not as a passive state, but as an active practice. Cultivate it, nurture it, and watch how it gradually reshapes your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your life. Because here's the truth you need to hold on to. Gratitude isn't about settling or lowering your standards. It's about empowering yourself to face the world with strength, clarity, and optimism. So tonight, start your gratitude list. And tomorrow, wake up ready, not burdened by what you must do, but inspired by what you already have. Make gratitude your daily anchor and let it transform your life from the inside out. Habit 3. Commit to learning. Isn't it curious how we spend years in school preparing for life, yet once we step out into the real world, the learning often slows down or even stops? We get caught up in the day-to-day tasks and gradually forget that growth, real, continuous growth, never truly stops. But here's a truth that might stir you up. The most transformative learning happens outside those classroom walls, in the real world, where life throws at you its toughest quizzes without a syllabus. Now, let's break it down a bit. Learning isn't just about absorbing facts or mastering skills. It's about expanding your understanding and challenging your perspectives. As Carl Jung said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. This kind of enlightenment, this deep, transformative understanding, comes from a commitment to lifelong learning. Think about the giants of history and modernity, the movers and shakers. What set them apart? It wasn't merely natural talent or a stroke of luck. It was their unquenchable thirst for knowledge. They remained students of life throughout their lives. The Stoics, for instance, were particularly keen on this. Epictetus believed that learning was an essential part of excellence. He argued that it was through the rigorous examination of our thoughts and beliefs that we achieve true wisdom. So how do you make this commitment to learning real and practical? Start with making it a daily habit. Dedicate at least 30 minutes a day to deliberate learning. And I'm not just talking about reading a book, though books are a great start. Dive into a documentary, listen to a podcast, even engage in thoughtful conversations. Mix it up to keep it interesting and broad in scope. And here's something important. Learning should stretch you. It should challenge your existing beliefs and open up new ways of seeing the world. It's about pushing the boundaries of your comfort zone intellectually. After all, as Jung pointed out, growth as a person isn't found in comfort, but through the confrontation and integration of the unknown aspects of ourselves. Every new piece of knowledge, every new insight you gain is another step towards a more rounded, more profound understanding of the world and your place in it. Make learning interactive and social too. Share what you learn with others. Teaching is a powerful method to deepen your own understanding. Discuss ideas, debate them, test your viewpoints against others. This interaction isn't just about reinforcing what you know, it's about discovering what you don't. Imagine the compounded effect over time. If every day you learn something new, think about how much broader your perspective will be in a month, a year, a decade. Think of this as building your intellectual capital. The more you invest in it, the richer you become in knowledge, wisdom, and even empathy. By fostering this habit, you're not just collecting facts, You're building a framework for better decision-making, for creativity, for resilience in the face of challenges. You become not just a participant in the world, but a creator, a thinker, a doer. And in the Stoic view, you align more closely with your true potential, which is the ultimate goal of philosophy and, indeed, life. So let's make a pact here, right now. Let's decide to be lifelong learners, to remain curious, to continually seek not just knowledge, but understanding, to not just pass through life, but to grow with it, to engage deeply with it, and by doing so, to transform ourselves and the world around us, one day, one lesson at a time. Habit 4. Control your self-talk. Ever caught yourself whispering under your breath, "I can't do this," or "I'm not good enough"? It's like there's a tiny coach in your head, but instead of pumping you up, it's dragging you down. This voice, this internal dialogue, isn't just background noise. It shapes your reality, molds your perception, and can either be your greatest ally or your biggest obstacle. Remember, the battlefield is in the mind, and every word you tell yourself is a weapon. Now, let's dive into why this matters so much. Our thoughts are not just random, they're the architects of our actions. As Marcus Aurelius once penned in his Meditations, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. So if your inner dialogue is riddled with self-doubt and defeat, what do you think that does to your life? It sets you up for a self-fulfilling prophecy of failure. But here's the good news: you can change it. First, recognize that you are not your thoughts. You're the observer and the controller of these thoughts. Carl Jung profoundly stated, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." This means much of your self-talk is automatic, habitual, and unchecked. It's time to bring it into the light. Start by simply noticing these thoughts. Catch yourself when you slip into negativity or self-doubt. Awareness is the first step to change. Once you've caught these thoughts, challenge them. Ask yourself, is this really true? Is it really true that I can't do this, or am I just scared to try? Often, you'll find these statements crumble under scrutiny. They're not truths, but mere fears dressed up as facts. This is where you can start rewriting the script. For every negative thought, counter it with a positive affirmation. Not just fluffy, feel-good quotes, but powerful, personalized statements that resonate with your goals and your values. But here's the trick: don't just think these new thoughts, speak them out loud. There's power in the spoken word. It makes the intangible tangible. When you vocalize these affirmations, you're not just hoping for strength, you're declaring it. You're not wishing for confidence, you're proclaiming it. This active engagement in positive self-talk reinforces your mental resilience, turning sporadic thoughts into solid beliefs. To make this even more effective, align your actions with your new dialogue. Act as if you are confident, capable, and in control. This doesn't mean ignoring your emotions or pretending problems don't exist. It means choosing to respond to them with strength and optimism, rather than fear and resignation. Remember, every action fueled by positive self-talk is another step towards transforming your internal dialogue from a critic to a cheerleader. And here's something profound. Over time, this new way of talking to yourself begins to change not just your thoughts, but your brain itself. Neuroscience shows us that repeated thoughts and behaviors actually rewire our brains, a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity. Your brain structure adapts as you cultivate healthier thoughts, fostering a mindset equipped for success and happiness. Habit 5. Embrace discomfort. It's human nature to seek comfort, isn't it? We all gravitate toward the familiar, the easy, the cozy spots of our lives. But here's a kicker: growth doesn't come from comfort zones. It comes from pushing past them, from venturing into the unfamiliar and the challenging, that pang of discomfort. It's not just a barrier, it's a signpost, pointing you toward personal growth. Let's get real for a second. Every time you dodge discomfort, you're not just staying in place, you're falling behind. The world doesn't slow down because you want to stay comfortable. It moves forward, constantly evolving. And if you're not pushing yourself, you're not just stagnant, you're getting left behind. The Stoics had this figured out. They believed in the concept of voluntary discomfort. Seneca would regularly practice hardships, like wearing simple clothing or eating basic food, not because he needed to, but because he wanted to toughen himself up. He wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" Now, how do we apply this ancient wisdom today? Start small. It's not about making your life hard for the sake of it. It's about gradually increasing your tolerance for discomfort. Maybe it means waking up an hour earlier to exercise or study. Perhaps it's finally having that difficult conversation you've been putting off. It could even be as simple as taking a cold shower. These acts of discomfort prepare you for life's inevitable challenges. They build resilience, just as lifting weights builds muscle. Carl Jung emphasized the necessity of confronting what he called the shadow self, the parts of us we avoid or dislike. He believed that facing our inner discomforts was crucial to psychological growth. This aligns perfectly with the practice of embracing physical or social discomforts. It's about confronting what you fear, understanding it, and mastering it. So, why do this? Why make life harder than it needs to be? Because when you regularly step out of your comfort zone, you expand it. What was uncomfortable yesterday becomes a breeze tomorrow. You're effectively training yourself to handle life's unpredictabilities. You start to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to grow, to learn, and to advance. Moreover, embracing discomfort helps you break free from the tyranny of your comfort zone. It's liberating. You realize that many of the limits you see are self-imposed. You learn that you're capable of much more than you thought possible. This isn't just motivational talk, it's a fundamental truth about human potential. Now think about how you can start. Identify one thing that makes you uncomfortable, something beneficial, yet you avoid it because it's hard. Commit to tackling it. Make it a habit. Over time, this habit will transform you. You'll become more adaptable, more robust, and more confident. You'll turn into someone who doesn't shy away from a challenge, but welcomes it with open arms. Habit 6. Master your focus. In a world buzzing with distractions, notifications, calls, messages, endless news cycles, it's incredibly easy to lose track of what you're actually supposed to be doing. We've all been there, right? You sit down to work, and suddenly 3 hours have slipped by, and you find yourself deep in the rabbit hole of social media, knowing a lot more about your friend's vacation than about the task at hand. Here's the hard truth. Being busy isn't the same as being productive. It's not just about doing more, it's about doing what matters. The Stoic philosophers like Seneca were acutely aware of the preciousness of time. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Imagine that. Centuries ago, without smartphones or social media, this was already a profound truth. Today, mastering your focus is not just an advantage, it's a necessity. If you don't control where your attention goes, you'll find yourself constantly swept away by the current of external demands. So, how do you sharpen your focus? Begin by creating an environment that reduces distractions. This might mean decluttering your workspace, turning off notifications, or setting specific hours for checking emails and messages. The goal is to create a sanctuary for deep work, where you can dive into tasks without interruption. Carl Jung highlighted the importance of the inner environment when he said, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes." This is crucial when discussing focus because the battleground of focus is primarily internal. It involves training your mind to return to the task at hand again and again, pulling it back each time it wanders. This isn't just about discipline, it's about developing a mindfulness of where your attention is at any given moment. To truly master your focus, practice the art of single tasking. Despite the modern glorification of multitasking, it's a myth. Neuroscience tells us that our brains aren't built to handle multiple complex tasks simultaneously. Instead, they switch tasks rapidly, which can lead to decreased productivity and increased mental fatigue. So, pick one important task, set a timer, and give it your undivided attention. This method, often called the Pomodoro technique, breaks work into intervals, typically 25 minutes in length, separated by short breaks. It's a practical, proven way to boost mental agility and focus. Moreover, integrating regular breaks is vital. Like a muscle, your brain gets fatigued, so give it time to rest. Stand up, stretch, take a walk, meditate. Do something that mentally refreshes you. These breaks aren't just downtime. They are an integral part of maintaining prolonged focus. They prevent burnout and prepare your mind for another round of intense focus. And here's something essential. Remember to periodically reassess your goals and priorities. Focus isn't static. As your objectives change, so too should your focus. This alignment ensures that you're not just working hard, but also working smart, on the right things, in the right way, at the right time. Habit 7. Develop ironclad discipline. Let's face it, we all love the idea of achieving our dreams, whether it's getting in shape, writing a book, or starting a business. But here's where the rubber meets the road. Achieving those dreams isn't about having an incredible burst of motivation on one glorious morning. It's about what you do every single day, rain or shine, whether you feel like it or not. That's discipline. And discipline, my friends, is not just a buzzword. It's the backbone of any success story. Now, you might be thinking, sure, easier said than done. And you're right. Developing ironclad discipline is tough. It's gritty, but it's also incredibly rewarding. Think of discipline as the bridge between your goals and their achievement. It's what keeps you moving forward when your initial excitement wanes and the grind sets in. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said it best, "No great thing is created suddenly." He knew that any worthwhile achievement requires a steady, relentless pursuit. So, how do we cultivate this kind of discipline? Start by setting clear, actionable goals, not just big, life-altering ambitions, but small, daily targets that move you in the right direction. This might mean writing a single page of your novel each day, running a mile every morning, or dedicating an hour to learning a new skill. The key here is consistency. Each small step might not seem like much in the moment, but over days, weeks, and months, those steps add up to massive progress. But here's a crucial piece: understanding your why. Carl Jung believed that knowing ourselves deeply is critical to our behavior. He famously said, "Who looks inside awakes." When you have a deep personal reason for pursuing a goal, discipline becomes less about external enforcement and more about internal drive. It's easier to commit to something when it resonates with your core values and desires. Now, let's talk about the environment, because it plays a massive role in maintaining discipline. Craft an environment that reduces temptations and fosters focus. If you're trying to eat healthier, Don't stock your pantry with junk food. If you want to focus on writing, create a dedicated, distraction-free workspace. By removing barriers and temptations, you make it easier to stick to your disciplined plan. And remember, discipline is also about recovery. It's not about pushing yourself to the point of burnout. Even the Stoics advocated for moderation in all things, including self-control. Schedule breaks, allow time for rest, and understand that sometimes the disciplined choice is to step back and recharge, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed or exhausted. Lastly, discipline isn't a solo journey. Share your goals and progress with a friend, a mentor, or a community that supports you. Accountability can significantly boost your commitment. When others know about your goals, it adds a layer of motivation that can be incredibly powerful. Plus, sharing the journey makes it more enjoyable and sustainable. Habit 8. Surround yourself with motivators. You know how they say, you are the company you keep. There's more truth to that than most of us realize. The people around us aren't just companions, they're influencers. Their attitudes, their behaviors, their values, they rub off on us, often more than we're aware. That's why it's absolutely critical not just to be mindful of who we spend our time with, but to actively choose to surround ourselves with motivators, people who push us to be our best selves. Now, think about this. When you're trying to make a positive change in your life, whether that's adopting healthier habits, pursuing a new career, or simply trying to be more productive, who's around you? Are they cheering you on, offering constructive feedback, helping you stay on track? Or do they scoff at your goals, tempt you with distractions, or worse, pull you down with their negativity? The difference can be night and day. This isn't just a modern idea. The Stoic philosophers understood the power of influence all too well. Seneca advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you. He knew that self-improvement wasn't just an internal journey, it's profoundly affected by our external associations. Our friends, colleagues, and even casual acquaintances can either act as catalysts for growth or barriers to it. Carl Jung, too, emphasized the impact of our social environment on our subconscious. He taught that our psyche is not only shaped by our own experiences, but also by the collective unconscious, the shared memories and ideas within the communities we belong to. So, if you're surrounded by people who strive for excellence, who are committed to personal and professional growth, you're likely to internalize these qualities as well. So how do you go about surrounding yourself with motivators? Start by evaluating your current relationships. Which ones empower you? Which ones drain you? Be honest with yourself. It's crucial. Then, make a conscious effort to spend more time with those who uplift you. Seek out new relationships at networking events, workshops, or online communities where you're likely to meet people with similar aspirations and attitudes. But here's the key. Being surrounded by motivators isn't just about receiving motivation, it's also about giving it. Relationships are a two-way street. Strive to be a motivator for others as well. Share your goals, your insights, your journey. Support and challenge each other. This kind of dynamic creates a powerful feedback loop, where everyone involved is inspired to keep pushing forward. Remember, the goal isn't to form a cheer squad, but to build a network of genuine, supportive relationships that challenge you to grow and help you stay aligned with your deepest values and ambitions. It's about creating a community where everyone is striving not just for personal success, but for mutual uplift. Habit 9. Take action every day. How many times have you set a goal, filled with enthusiasm, only to find that motivation fizzling out just days later? It's a common tale, right? Well, here's the not-so-secret secret. Motivation isn't what drives real change. It's action, consistent, daily action. That's where the magic happens. Waiting for the perfect moment or the surge of inspiration to get things done is a surefire way to let your dreams slip through your fingers. Because let's face it, the perfect moment rarely comes. The Stoics taught us that it's not events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about them. This philosophy is deeply pragmatic. It suggests that the way forward isn't through perfect conditions, but through our own responses to whatever circumstances we face. Marcus Aurelius emphasized action when he said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He means that obstacles shouldn't stop us, but should rather be seen as part of the path forward. Carl Jung also touches on a similar idea, but from a psychological perspective, when he talks about individuation, becoming who we truly are. He noted that this process isn't just thinking and reflecting, but doing. Jung said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." This is crucial because our true self is expressed by our actions, not just by our intentions or our words. So, what does taking action every day actually look like? It means setting realistic, achievable tasks each day that contribute to your larger goal. If you're writing a book, this might mean writing a page a day. If you're aiming to get fit, it might be a 30-minute workout every morning. The scale of the action isn't as important as the fact that you're moving forward. Each small step is a building block in the structure of your greater ambition. But here's a critical aspect. Track your progress. Keeping a log or a journal of what you've accomplished each day not only provides a sense of achievement, but also enhances your awareness of your journey. It's reinforcing to look back over a week or a month and see just how much ground you've covered. This record-keeping bolsters your will to continue when the going gets tough. And let's not overlook the role of accountability in taking daily action. Sharing your goals with a friend, a coach, or a mentor can massively increase your chances of sticking to your plan. It adds a layer of commitment beyond your own personal resolve. When someone else knows about your goals and checks in on your progress, it can motivate you to stay on track. Lastly, embrace flexibility. While taking action every day is vital, be willing to adapt your actions based on feedback and changing circumstances. The path to any goal can have unexpected turns, and agility can be just as important as persistence. Remember, it's about making consistent progress, not sticking rigidly to a plan that may no longer serve you best. Habit 10. Reflect and refine nightly. Ending your day might seem like it's just about closing your eyes and hoping for a good night's sleep, but what if I told you it's actually a golden opportunity? That's right. The way you wrap up your day can significantly influence not just the quality of your sleep, but the success of your tomorrow. Reflecting and refining nightly isn't just about pondering over what happened. It's an active process of learning and adapting, a crucial part of personal growth and self-awareness. Consider this. Every night is a new chance to look back at your day critically but constructively. What went well? What didn't? Where did you excel and where did you falter? This isn't about beating yourself up for the mistakes or mishaps. Instead, it's about understanding them, learning from them, and figuring out a plan to do better. Marcus Aurelius was onto something when he advised us to conduct a daily self-examination. He wrote in his meditations about the importance of reviewing the actions of the day, learning from them, and then letting them go. This Stoic practice helps you detach from the day's emotions and view your actions objectively. Carl Jung also stressed the importance of self-reflection in the process of individuation, becoming who we truly are. He famously said, "Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." This insight from Jung captures the essence of nightly reflection. It's about looking inward to understand your motivations, your fears, and your desires, and using that understanding to refine your future actions. So how can you effectively incorporate this habit into your nightly routine? Start by setting aside just a few minutes each night, maybe right before bed, to jot down key points of the day. Note down what you achieved, what challenged you, and how you responded to those challenges. This can be in a journal, on your phone, or even mentally if you prefer. The key is consistency. But reflection goes beyond just thinking. It's also about refining. Use what you've learned about yourself during your reflection to tweak your approaches or strategies for the coming days. Did a particular task take longer than expected? Plan better time allowances or break the task into smaller steps. Felt particularly stressed after a meeting? Maybe it's time to try new relaxation techniques before or after stressful encounters. And let's not forget the psychological benefits. This nightly practice can help lower anxiety and increase your sense of control over your life. By regularly engaging in reflection, you reinforce your ability to influence your own actions and reactions, which is empowering. It turns potential frustrations into lessons and challenges into opportunities for growth. Finally, make sure to acknowledge your successes during this reflection time. Celebrate the small wins, along with analyzing what could be improved. This balance keeps your morale high and motivation intact. Over time, you'll find that this nightly ritual not only helps you close out your day with clarity and peace, but also sets the stage for a more purposeful and productive tomorrow.